Hey, everybody, welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And your Lord of Pennies is here as well. Say hello, Satsu.
Hello, Satsu.
And I am your far too spunky Lord of Pain, the Ranting Monkey. How you guys doing tonight? Statsu. Statsu, how are you tonight?
Oh, Statsu.
I was good until you was almost late because you was cheating on us with 2 whores.
Was I late, though?
Almost late.
Almost late, yeah. But not late. So that's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm. It is in
2
my book.
whores, that was not nice.
I meant sluts. Sorry.
There were a lot of whores in there.
Also, you have a super chat monkey that came in. It's probably gone now on the.
Yeah, I'm scrolling back. Sorry, guys, I'm getting set up. Thank you, Nick's opinion. Can I say Monkey Dick Jim Jones movies? I love the Lords of the Night. Monkey just came from 2 Girls, 1 Monkey. Indeed, I was over on the 2 Girls, 1 Stream podcast. Podcast, is that what it is? Stream?
Yeah, same difference these days.
Yeah, same difference these days. With SDA and Weibo. And I'm a little bit late because they had set it up so people could call in and gave them specific times frames. And this one dude was really mad about our opinion on the whole Kavanaugh thing. And it got a little heated, so I gave him a couple more minutes. I am sorry that I didn't get to talk to you guys beforehand. Scribbles, how are you tonight?
I'm wondering if there's even any point in doing the news since you already did it over on the other stream.
Oh, I have so much to say, though.
Oh, okay. You need at least 2 streams to say all you want to say.
Oh, dude, I could ramble forever.
Well,
hell, dude, that's how this stream started in the first place.
I know, right? All those years ago now.
Nothing for you. You asked what I thought of his fan fiction. You guys should go check that out on the stream after you watch me and Satsu later tonight. It was very good. Needs a little more sex in it, though. That's all. I'm fine. Thanks for asking, guys.
Yeah, sure. Well, we already know how you are. You were over with 2 girls talking to him, so whatever.
Yeah, I got to see Little Butt today. She was so adorable. And then her mom mentioned that they were looking for apartments, and I got sad again because they're moving.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah.
How long until that happens?
I'm not sure exactly. Month or so. Yeah.
Well, better get in the spoiling while you can, I suppose.
I do my best. I really do. We got to complete the thing. It's Monkey Dick Jim Jones movies, video games. Hit that like button, guys. It really does help us out if you enjoy a stream. Make sure you hit that like button while you're watching it, and share our stuff, guys, because, well, YouTube doesn't unless you're Will Smith.
That's right. And jumping out of a helicopter over the Grand Canyon. Did
you see that? He got #1 trending, even though Shane Dawson's video had more views.
I also saw that Stephen Carl of Lazy Town, his account hit 1 million today, which means his family will get a gold play button.
Congrats.
Yeah, Dankula was doing a stream to help boost that up.
Yep.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, that's cool. But with that, I don't have anything else to talk about. Do you, gentlemen?
No.
Then I guess it's on to the salacious news.
Oh, the salacious news? Okay. Well, Monkey's a whore.
Monkey's a whore.
Oh. But other than that,
what?
That's a matter of opinion. So, if you were watching The World today, the stalling has allowed a new allegation to appear.
2.
A wild allegation has appeared. Oh, 2.
Yes, 1 just broke right before we went on.
Oh, that's the other stream. Okay. Well, then that's even better news to me. Let's see. Is it? I don't see it. Oh, breaking 2. It denies 2. Okay, let me pull up. And I got it. Okay. Kavanaugh denies 2 additional accusations to Senate Judiciary Committee. I knew about the one from our friend, the creepy porn lawyer, but I don't know about whatever this is.
Hang on 1 second. Thank you, Duck Dog. Ramble, yes. Amble, no. Thank you. Go ahead.
Republican investigators for the Senate Judiciary Committee on Tuesday asked Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh about 2 new allegations against him, according to a transcript of a conference call released by the committee. In the transcript released Wednesday, Kavanaugh denied an allegation that he assaulted a woman he was dating in 1998 while working for independent counsel Ken Starr that investigators said stemmed from an anonymous complaint sent to Colorado GOP Senator Cory Gardner. Quote, no, and we're dealing with an anonymous letter about an anonymous person and an anonymous friend, Kavanaugh said. It's ridiculous. Total Twilight Zone, and no, I've never done anything like that, unquote.
Wait till you get to this accusation. I am giddy with anticipation.
Why should I bother reading this? You've already read it. There's no surprise.
Do you want me to tell you?
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Because I didn't hear it.
No, I'm just thinking that Monkey needs to just take a powder in the news today, because he's already seen it all. There's no surprise now.
You surprise me all the time, Scribe.
I'm not quite sure how to take that. Kavanaugh then was asked about and categorically denied an allegation made by a Rhode Island man whose name was redacted from the transcript, raised in a call to Rhode Island Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse's office, quote, concerning a rape on a boat in August of 1985. So there's been two additional on top of the one today. I see.
I didn't even hear that one.
Kavanaugh has denied 3 other allegations against him, all involving women who have come forward publicly. So let me get this straight. So Brett Kavanaugh, by the allegations, has held down and almost killed a girl in high school.
Yes.
Attended and oversaw multiple rape gang activities in high school.
Yes.
Exposed his penis to a girl who then touched it in college.
Yep.
He sexually assaulted a girlfriend in 1998.
Wait, okay, we got to discuss that, because the specific allegation there is that they left after having dinner at some party and they were all drunk.
Yeah.
And he aggressively and sexually pushed her against a wall.
Oh.
I'm not making that up, y'all. You can look it up.
Okay. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. That was in 98. In 85. So the high school stuff happened in the early 80s.
Between mid 80 and 82. Yeah.
82 to mid 80s. He raped a man on a boat in August of 1985. And then in college, in the late 80s, he exposed his penis. And then in 1998, he pressed a woman up against a wall in an aggressive manner after they'd been out on a date.
Sexually.
Okay.
My favorite part about that one is the woman's, it's an anonymous tip, guys, but her daughter even saw it. Like, huh?
Her daughter saw it?
Her daughter was there and saw it.
Well, I know the one thing I saw where they said that the one bitch, Ford, got 4 people to corroborate her story. The story that she doesn't remember, and she was in the room, but she got 4 people who weren't there to be like, yeah, that happened.
Yes. Well, they've said, yes, she told them about it.
Right.
All right. Fuck out of here.
The letter
Nobody was told, though. Wasn't that her own admission? Didn't she say, I told no one until my therapy session?
One of the people of those 4 was her therapist, and then the others are all people she's told since then.
Come on, man. What the fuck?
The letter sent to Gardner accused Kavanaugh of violent behavior while under the influence of alcohol during his time working for the investigation led by Starr into then-President Bill Clinton. The complainant said the writer's daughter and several friends were with Kavanaugh in 1998 when Kavanaugh assaulted a woman he was dating who was a friend of the person's daughter. The complainant said the writer's daughter.
Yeah.
Wait. The complainant. I'm confused. I thought the writer was the complainant.
Yeah, we'll see. It's an anonymous tip, man.
How many years ago was that? 1998?
98, so 20 years ago.
20 years ago. So 20 years ago. Okay.
The key part of that, guys, and I cannot stress this enough, is during the Starr investigation.
One investigator read the letter to Kavanaugh stating, quote, her friend was dating him and they left the bar under the influence of alcohol. They were all shocked when Brett Kavanaugh shoved her friend up against the wall very aggressively and sexually. The author of the letter said their daughter was approached by the friend on September 21st, 2018, wondering what to do. The author of the letter said their daughter was... Both opted to stay anonymous, as did the author of the letter, according to the letter as read by the investigator.
If they are not willing to come forward and testify, it is meaningless. Sorry.
Well, okay. So one or two things are happening. Either Kavanaugh is a super sexual deviant,
Yes.
or we have an epidemic of people who all seen and experienced really horrible things and didn't say shit.
Well, because we really haven't talked about the third accuser. She says that she attended several parties where Brett and his friend Mark Judge orchestrated gang rapes of women being used for a train. Michael Avenatti had hinted to this before, but we got the specific allegations today. This is a woman who says she knew these rapes were going on and she kept going back to the parties.
Yeah. And also the one part that I tried to picture in my head as making any sense at all, and how something like that could happen without someone else having said something, is that she witnessed a line of boys waiting their turn.
Yes.
Outside the room where the girl was being drugged or whatever.
And she claims she was also actually raped, but she doesn't say Brett was part of it. She does say that she saw Brett and Mark Judge in line for these rapes. By the way, she was in college when all of this happened.
When asked if during the Starr investigation he dated a woman who, quote, would fairly fit the description in the letter, Kavanaugh asked, what's the description? Just based on what I, unquote, the transcript showed the investigator responding, describe her appearance, Kavanaugh said. No, it's all we have is what I read, the investigator said. Well, then I don't know. Well, then I don't know what I'm responding to then, Kavanaugh replied.
Did you date a woman who was pushed up against a wall? Is that really what they were asking him?
Here's the latest, though, the boat one. The second allegation raised by White House alleges that in 1985, quote, a close acquaintance of the constituent, okay, was sexually assaulted by two heavily inebriated men she referred to at the time as Brett and Mark, unquote. The incident allegedly took place on a boat in the Newport Harbor. Kavanaugh denied being in Newport or on a boat with Mark Judge. The report, as read, said when the man learned of the assault, quote, he and another individual went to the harbor, located the boat the victim had described, and physically confronted the two men, leaving them with significant injuries, unquote. The report said the caller contacted White House's office the morning of September 24th, 2018, after he saw Kavanaugh's high school yearbook photo on television and realized one of those men was Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh denied the incident occurred, that he had sexually assaulted any women in Rhode Island, or that two men injured him and someone named Mark. No, Kavanaugh said, I was not in Newport, haven't been on a boat in Newport, not with Mark Judge on a boat. This sounds like a Dr. Seuss rhyme.
Dr. Seuss.
Nor all of those three things combined. This is just completely made up, or at least not me. I don't know who they're referring to. Ford has said Judge was in the room when Kavanaugh assaulted her in high school, a charge Judge has denied and said he has no recollection of. This is just...
Real quick, let me get these super chats. Sarah Diamanis, thank you. Given the modern definition of rape, Brett probably just looked at these women for 6 consecutive seconds. And Gregory Hurst, D.B. Cooper, and Zodiac were Kavanaugh in disguise.
So uncorroborated, unverified accounts. I mean, now we have five different accounts of him having done horrible things.
Well, with this, we have 2 who right now are on the record. The third, the number numbers 1 and 3. So Ford and what is it? Sweetnick. I don't know how to say it.
No. Ramirez is on the record too.
She's not though. She is this. Well, she kind of is. She did the article for Ronan. I forget who he works for now.
New York Times.
But since then, she's gone radio silent. Her and her lawyer like don't ask us any questions.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends how you define on the record, but we know their names and they've made themselves known.
They're not willing to speak further. She's not willing to speak further about it. And then the two new ones are entirely anonymous based on literally do you know a woman who was pushed against a wall and has a daughter?
Describe the woman. Oh, that's all we got. Well, then I got nothing to tell you.
We know about her.
I can't verify anything.
Yeah. So look, if he's a creepy rapist, and none of the stories go together. Typically, when we see a serial raper like, say, Bill Cosby, the stories match.
There's a modus operandi. There's a method to the madness, so to speak.
And that was like the crux of that whole thing. Is they was like it has to be true because all the stories are very similar.
And these are so wildly different. From even if you just take the Ford and Sweatnick ones. Sweatnick says she saw them drugging girls, getting them drunk, and running trains on them. Where Ford is like, it was just me that they pushed into a room. Real quick. Super chats. Thank you, Sanguine. So the one at least has something testable. Look up his medical records for that year. And did he have the shit kicked out of him? If no, then wasn't him. He might not have, they said significant injuries, but that's,
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Nope. We're up to hundreds of potential witnesses. How can none of the witnesses come forward or have gone to the police or both? That's an excellent question.
Yeah, I was wondering that same thing because with Bill Cosby, it's a little bit different because like he was like in the midst of like show business and all that type of stuff or whatever. Mm-hmm. But when Kavanaugh was a teenage nobody, you mean to tell me he successfully like trotted across wherever the fuck he was at, assaulting people in mass, and nobody, like not one person was just like, I should probably say so. Because if that is the case, and all of this is true, I actually think the bigger issue is the fact that you have all these people who have witnessed or been in crimes or whatever who literally aren't saying shit about it.
We'll get to that in just a second. Thank you, Nick's opinion. I think it's all bullshit and lies. I could be wrong by everything I heard. It's just BS. I'm having trouble believing it. Let me put it that way. And Gregory Hurst. So wait, is she literally Ronan the accuser? Ronan's the writer, and it'd be he.
Monkey doesn't get it. It's okay.
I don't. To what you said there, especially with this new one, the most credible new allegation we have, this Sweatnick one. This is a woman who, according to the timeline, was in college at the time. A college student, an adult, who was going to parties where kids were underage drinking, which, okay, kids do that. But then repeatedly went back to parties where she knew people were getting raped and never said a word.
Right.
Not once. Not even after it was her. According to the statement that she signed, she told people within a couple of days, but nobody in authority. And so, yeah, you have all of these people who basically let rape happen. And this woman continually went to these parties where she knew rape was going on.
Yeah, so she was witness to multiple violent felonies against people. Never said anything. Can't seem to call out anyone other by name of this train of people that she saw on multiple occasions, except the two figures that we've already heard about. I mean, name three more people. That'd be my first thing. It's like, okay, well, you saw Brett Kavanaugh, you saw Mark Judge, but you went to these parties on multiple occasions. It's not exactly a gigantic community at the time that you were doing this. Mm-hmm. So name three more people that were in these lines, and let's see what they have to say. Because if you were witness to these things on a lot of times, you should have more than just two names you can call out for committing violent felonies.
Oh yeah, is it not important to you because they're not politically on the
or they have their names haven't been published in the newspapers? As you know, it's like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
I don't find this much more credible than the other ones. And again, guys, it is entirely possible. It's just not real believable at the moment to me.
Yeah. And people keep saying that because we are waiting for evidence or asking for some type of tangible evidence, we're definitively saying that we don't believe it. And I'm like, no, I'm just waiting for some proof.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Every time one of these things comes out, it's like, okay, we need corroborative contemporary testimony, some kind of documentary evidence, something to tie it that is not generated by the one person making the accusation. And we haven't had that yet. That's contemporary to the event. If you find somebody who hasn't talked to Christine Ford in like 30 years, and they come forward and say, yeah, I was there, I saw the thing, here's the date and the time and a couple other details that you don't have. That'd be something.
Yeah.
But no, and rape trains going on and shit. It's like, come on. It's just like each one of these things ends up becoming, except for the latest ones, except like raping a guy on a boat. That's a new one. But they keep getting an escalation worse the further you go back in time.
Well, that's something we talked about on SDA stream. Typically, a criminal, especially a sexually violent criminal, they escalate. They don't de-escalate. And until this rape on the boat thing, what we had was rape gangs, attempted rape, showed me his dick, and then
pushed me against a wall.
Yeah. It doesn't tend to go backwards that way.
I don't know, man. I really wish if the opposition here were smart, then they would simply just plant a person and be like, yeah, the reason that she knows about all this shit is because she was helping.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Well, technically at this point, she's an accessory because she knew what was going on.
Yeah, and just be like, yeah,
nothing.
She's saying this because she helped facilitate it. She was there. She here's all the proof. She was there. She says she has knowledge of all of them happening, and she was there and didn't say nothing all these years. She was a part of it. And because they're saying listen and believe, all they need to do is get a woman to say it. And like, damn, there you go.
Well, let's move on because we've already taken up almost the entire news time. I have technically other stories, but I'll have to drop a couple here. Let's do one that's not Kavanaugh related. U.S. B-52s fly near contested islands amid China tensions. This isn't good.
Huh.
The U.S. Air Force conducted 2 bomber flights this week into areas considered sensitive by the Chinese military, missions that have come amid heightened tensions between Washington and Beijing. Earlier this week, U.S. B-52 bombers flew from Guam and transited through the South China Sea, an area where the Chinese government has built islands and established military facilities on disputed features. Quote, that just goes on. If it was 20 years ago and had they not militarized those features if they had not militarized those features there, it would have been just another bomber on its way to Diego Garcia or whatever. Secretary of Defense James Mattis told reporters in a very awkward sentence at the Pentagon Wednesday when asked about the bomber flight. There's nothing out of the ordinary about it, Mattis added. On Tuesday, U.S. B-52s also, quote, participated in a regularly scheduled combined operation in the vicinity of the East China Sea, Pentagon spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Dave Eastburn told CNN. A U.S. defense official told CNN that the bombers were escorted by Japanese fighter jets and flew in proximity to the Japanese-controlled Senkaku Islands, which China lays claim to. The bombers also flew into the Chinese military's unilaterally declared air defense identification zone, which extends over the area. The 2 missions come amid heightened tensions over a series of issues in the last week. And then they go over the tariffs and all that fun stuff. So if it's regularly scheduled, there's nothing out of the ordinary, why are you going into their air defense zones? Yeah,
did this say how far out they were from?
No, it just says they flew into. They don't give any like distances or anything. So
Interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, but that happened. And I'm going to skip over that one.
Hang on, time out. First, Sanguine, thank you. Did the B-52 drop Love Shacks?
Yeah.
Asshole. But Mr. Potato had a birthday yesterday. He was driving with his family, so he couldn't be here to tell us then.
Oh.
But it's still technically his birthday, our time. So, Mr. Potato, are you out there? Are you listening? I can see you listening. I can see you. You're looking at me right now. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
I made a chicken pizza.
Happy birthday to you.
No, quite literally a chicken pizza.
Happy birthday, Mr. Potato.
Mr. Potato.
I love you,
Grinded
Peppa
up the chicken
Pig.
myself and everything.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you.
Want to see a picture?
Happy birthday, Mr. Potato. I hope you had a great one. I really do.
You know what? If you see Mr. Potato, you can say, like he's walking down the street, you can yell out to him, "You, tuber."
Stop it.
That's
Okay. Well, in a tangential story to the Kavanaugh deal, and I'm sure Monkey will appreciate some of this as well. I have an opinion piece, I think, from it looks like it from the entertainment section at CNN. I think you'll know where this is going simply by the headline.
All right.
Taking another look at pop culture's Animal House era as Kavanaugh hearings unfold.
Oh, for fuck's sake, really? Wait until they see Revenge of the Nerds.
Animal House's recent 40th anniversary was an occasion for nostalgia, but also a referendum on the problematic aspects of the sex and drug comedies of that era when viewed through a modern prism. As USA Today asked in one analytical piece, quote, "In the era of #MeToo, is it still okay to laugh at Animal House?"
Yes, it is, because it's a funny movie until the end.
That period has come into focus again, unexpectedly, in the confirmation hearings regarding Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, who has been accused of sexual assault while a high school student and in a separate act of misconduct by a college classmate, and on a boat, and with a goat, and in a box, and with a fox, and in a train. Movies.
Oh, sorry, Circus. I'm sorry. Keep going.
What?
You mentioned my Streamlabs weren't working. I got to have it open for 5 minutes before it'll work. So give me just a second, Circus. 5 minutes and it'll be ready.
Movies obviously hold up a bent mirror to society and are often funny precisely because they exaggerate attitudes and situations. Well, it depends on the movie. I mean, if we're talking about a comedy, if you want to say comedy movies, anyway. But the popular culture of the period does reflect shifting standards and tolerance for a kind of humor, not only about sex, but also issues such as race, that was much different when young guys were reading the National Lampoon and flocking to see equally risque fare like Kentucky Fried Movie and The Groove Tube. Holy fuck.
Wow.
I haven't heard that name in a long time. That's a kind of Obi-Wan for me. Of course, movies about teenage boys losing their virginity as a rite of passage both predates those years and lingered long after it. The Summer of 42, a comedy drama released in 1971, focused heavily on a pair of boys determined to have sex during World War II before taking a more serious turn, while the American Pie series, which dealt with the same general theme much more broadly, kicked off in 1999. In between, there were movies like Animal House, in which, among other things, a college freshman plays out the pros and cons of having sex with a drunk to the point of unconscious girl, and popular comedies like Porky's, with its voyeuristic shower scene, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and 16 Candles. In the last film, one of a string of hit comedies directed by John Hughes, a teenage nerd impresses his friends by presenting a pair of a classmate's panties.
So, Let me get these real quick. Cryptic, thank you. Americans are just doing the flyover because both the Chinese and Japanese got lost over the horizon. Eyes is a hell of an advantage. Cryptic. And nope. So get this. Gang rape accuser stalked and threatened her ex and was previously affiliated with the law firm of Ford's lawyer, Daily Wire, from the Daily Wire.
Oh. Yeah. The extent to which women were fully realized characters in these movies, as opposed to just being the objects of fixation and fantasy, tended to vary. It's okay, so you can't say it's all one thing. Okay. But in most instances, these stories unfolded largely from a male perspective. I mean, because they were written by men and generally geared towards and aimed at teenage men, mostly. A prime example would be Weird Science, another Hughes film from 1985, in which a couple of dweeby kids literally create an idealized woman played by model Kelly LeBrock in a lab. Yeah, and who had all the power in that movie?
A dude is literally turned into a pile of shit in that movie.
Yeah, tell me, author of this, who was given all of the power, made into a demigod effectively, and was smarter than everyone else in the film? Tell me about that. Anyway, television exhibited a similar naughty streak during these years with sitcoms like Bosom Buddies and Three's Company. Hey, now that first one, that's transphobic. That's transphobic. Where young men ogling women while pretending to be women and gay, respectively, was baked into the premise. Yeah, it was for A, it was different times back then, and B, those were about as harmless a comedy as you can imagine. Three's Company, Bosom Buddies, really?
Well, they make jokes about wanting to have sex with women.
Oh my God, because no men really men don't really want to have sex with women. It's all just so icky. It was almost done. Okay.
I had a thought today. Go ahead and finish it. I'll do my
three paragraphs and we're done. The tenuous relationship here to the Kavanaugh story, you're right, tenuous is correct, is simply to consider the way the cultural environment has evolved. Evolved? I would beg to differ in some instances, perhaps especially in the last few years. Rewatching movies years later has surely compelled some middle-aged parents to squirm uncomfortably when introducing their kids to old pastimes that haven't necessarily aged well.
My children thought Weird Science was funny as fuck.
No kidding. There is and was clearly a vast gap between the entertainment that people consume and the way they actually behave. It's fiction!
It's a fucking movie.
Sake, are you... Okay, I'm going to read that again just for those in the cheap seats. There is and was clearly a vast gap between the entertainment that people consume and the way they actually behave. That said, there were also Reagan-era toga parties and drinking games inspired by what people saw on the screen, where characters being drunk or stoned was often a source of hilarity. Wait a second.
Wait. Oh my God.
Wait. Okay, so being inspired by what you see on the screen is a bad thing. Then why is everybody pushing for equal representation? And more, and we have to see people doing things, or else no one can believe that they can do them.
I'll go one even better. This idiot just actually suggested before Animal House there were no drunken toga parties at colleges.
Yeah. Where do you think the whole idea for Animal House came from? People's experiences in college.
Moron.
Okay, last paragraph. The issue of looking backward isn't strictly academic. Coming as it does amid a wave of movie and TV revivals, drawing upon the equity in nostalgia. Taking advantage of established franchises to milk more money out of people who remember the better times. Yeah. Yet for those who like to view the 70s and 80s as a simpler time, it's a reminder that not everything from those years translates into a modern setting in what was, in key respects, a less enlightened one.
Okay, you're not enlightened. You're a fucking moron. Yeah, thank you, Jack Cochran. Animal House causes rape like Friday the 13th causes serial killers. Yes, 100 times yes.
Right.
You can't look at movies like Animal House and Porky's and go, oh, look how horrible they treated the women's. Obviously, this is why people do the bad stuff. And then not look at things like how many serial killers have we had with knives for fingers?
Yeah, the super chat.
Prospero, thank you. This is exactly like the churchy church ladies losing their shit over the Sex Pistols and Frank Zappa. Yeah, that was the point I was going to bring up. I've thought about this, and I've mentioned before that it seems to me we're returning to our puritanical roots.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think men and women should hang out together anymore at all.
Well, it's getting that way just by the nature of what we're seeing.
I'm afraid to pork Lady Monkey because she's going to accuse me of porking her. I don't understand where all of this nonsense is coming from. The listener, this bitch is literally complaining about movies.
Oh, this is a man, by the way.
Well, he's a bitch anyway. That is a basic bitch. How dare we suggest that guys would look at naked women if they had the chance? In respect to the Porky shower scene.
Let's set this off for deep topic time because we have a lot of MSS news to go through.
Is that all your stories?
That's all I had, yeah.
All right, yeah. So guys, it is deep topic, not deep topic time. It is hashtag MSS News time. If there's a story you'd like us to take a look at, hit us up at the hashtag MSS News on the Twitter machine. We can't get to them all, but that's because you guys are so awesome. You send in way too many. Scribbles?
Thank you, Statsu. Let's see. All right, so this one comes from Shady Grin. Ex-boyfriend filed restraining order against third Kavanaugh accuser.
Dun, dun, dun.
Julie Swetnick, the woman who accused Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and a friend of attending house parties where women, including herself, were sexually assaulted, had a restraining order filed against her years later in Miami by her former boyfriend. A Miami-Dade County court docket shows a petition for injunction against Swetnick was filed March 1st, 2001 by her former boyfriend, Richard Vinecki, who told Politico Wednesday the two had dated for 4 years before they broke up. 13 days later, the case was dismissed not long after an affidavit of non-ability to advance fees was filed. Excuse me. According to Vinecki, Swetnick threatened him after they broke up and even after he got married to his current wife and had a child. Quote, right after I broke up with her, she was threatening my family, threatening my wife, and threatening to do harm to my baby at that time, right after I broke up with her. How did you get a wife and a baby right after you I'm confused. Vinecki said in a telephone interview with Politico, I know a lot about her. She's not credible at all, he said, not at all. The allegation is likely to raise questions among Republican defenders of Kavanaugh about Swetnick's credibility after her attorney, Michael Avenatti, revealed her for the first time on Wednesday. Reached late Wednesday, Avenatti said he knew nothing of a restraining order and called the line of inquiry irrelevant. Quote, complete nonsense, no truth to this at all. Her ex-boyfriend fraudulently used her resume to apply for and obtain jobs and was caught by her, said Avenatti. Why are you all attacking a sexual assault victim? Would that be appropriate in a court of law? Yes, it's called cross-examination. Are you a lawyer?
Goes to the credibility of your witness, counselor.
Oh, for fuck's
Why are you attacking a sexual assault victim?
An alleged victim.
No. A guaranteed sexual assault victim.
Real quick, thank you, Circus Zero, for the fuck of it over on Streamlabs. And thank you, Sanguine. This is feminist and sonorous moral busybodying. Why would facts like the cannon power differential matter? It would just get in the way of fun, and men are bad because I was raped today, and you have to believe me. Yeah. Should we listen and believe her ex?
He's not credible.
Oh, thank you, Mashishu. To follow the trends of Bowsette, I think the Lords of the Night should call us chats lordettes. Call us in the chats lordettes.
That's assuming gender. I don't like that.
Indeed.
This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Byrne. Yay. I don't know what this company is, but apparently it's a company. Moonpig, that's one word, Moonpig, begs customers to stop customizing cards with pictures of their genitals. I assume it's a greeting card company or something.
And you let them use their own pictures?
British card company Moonpig allows customers to send their loved ones a special treat in the form of a personalized card or gift. Users can upload pretty much any photo they want to the website in order to create a cheeky or cute present to celebrate a birthday, Christmas, graduation, Easter, Valentine's Day, or other special occasion. However, it turns out there are a few things you shouldn't try to stick on your card, as people have now learnt thanks to a desperate plea from the company. In a post on Twitter, Moonpig UK asked customers to refrain from uploading pictures of their genitals to the website. The tweet reads, quote, "Please stop uploading pics of your genitals to our cards. It is against our terms TS and CS."
You do realize what's going to happen now, right?
Oh, yeah. It's the Streisand effect. Moonpig's terms and conditions clearly state that the company does not allow pornographic or offensive material to be featured on their cards. Their request quickly got picked up by the Twitter sphere and has since had some hilarious replies.
How do they know it's pornographic and not art?
One user wrote, quote, "My dad is very apologetic, but he's going through a bad time. No excuse, I know." To which Moonpig responded, "As long as he's aware now."
Oh, well, at least they got a sense of humor about it.
Another person pointed out that by making the plea, they may be encouraging others to start uploading naughty photos. They said, quote, "Okay, this is hilarious, but won't it now encourage others to do it? P.S. Can we please have an example of what not to send?" A third jokingly asked, "Do you do pop-up cards?" asking for a friend.
Nice.
So there you go. That happened.
Yeah, how do they know? I mean, it's art. Just several people in chat have the same idea as me. My dick is art.
Somebody take a picture of like a Roman statue naked to send off. Let's see. This one comes from Peter Stewart. If it'll come up. Okay. And now it's going to play a video in my ear. Yes, no? God, stop it. Okay. How a single crack created a commuter's nightmare in San Francisco. I heard about this today. San Francisco officials urged commuters to stay off the road as much as possible Wednesday as repairs continued on a cracked beam that forced authorities to shut down the city's brand new $2.2 billion transit terminal. Workers discovered the crack in a steel support beam under the Salesforce Transit Center's rooftop garden Tuesday morning. Authorities decided to shut the key transit hub down at 5 p.m. just as San Francisco's rush hour began. Coined the Grand Central of the West, the Salesforce Transit Center opened in August near the heart of downtown after nearly a decade of construction. It was expected to accommodate 100,000 passengers each weekday and up to 45 million people a year. Engineers spent Tuesday inspecting the damage before recommending the center be shut down for repairs. The beam cracked, the executive director said. The director said the crack was found near a weld on a stress-bearing horizontal beam. He said he did not know how long the crack was, but he told reporters that American steel was used in the center's construction. Oh, well, at least as long as made in the USA. Let's see. Do they say how long it's going to be shut down? It doesn't say. So, yeah, I appreciate them taking the precaution rather than having the whole thing fall on people. But at the same time, it's like $2 billion over 10 years and already it's falling apart. Okay.
Gotta love it.
Let's see. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Michigan boy, 12, steals police cruiser, leads authorities on chase.
Cool.
A 12-year-old boy stole a patrol car belonging to the City of Flint Police Department in Michigan on Tuesday. The boy, who has not yet been identified and probably won't since he's a minor, allegedly stole the car after authorities arrived at his home, responding to a domestic disturbance call relating to the boy and his father. When authorities arrived, the boy had locked himself in his father's car, but as they were speaking with his father, the 12-year-old apparently jumped out of the car and into the driver's seat of the police cruiser. He took off, leading police on a roughly 1 mile chase before another police vehicle and Genesee County Sheriff's vehicle boxed the SUV in. Excuse me. The boy crashed with the Genesee County Sheriff head on. No one was hurt. Johnson said the boy will be evaluated as he could possibly be experiencing a psychological issue. Don't leave your keys in your car.
Yeah, no shit. Thank you, Mr. Unite for the Children. Donation with no comment. I appreciate it.
Let's see. Okay, this one comes from The Reaper. Stormy's lawyer has accounts frozen by judge.
Oh, Michael, what'd you do wrong?
Stormy Daniels' lawyer has had his accounts frozen by a bankruptcy judge due to a failure to make payments he agreed to make.
Oh, he must be waiting for some of that Stormy money to come in for that.
A federal bankruptcy judge has targeted Avenatti's laws firm. This is how it's written, guys. A federal bankruptcy judge has targeted Avenatti's laws firm for legal action. This judge issued a restraining order which blocked the firm from spending any fees it collects due to more than $10 million in unpaid debts and back taxes. The order covers the bank accounts of the lawyer who represented Brett Kavanaugh's latest accuser, and it concerns 54 cases and millions of dollars. Yeah, so he's not having fun right now. Let's see, what is this? This is from Frosted Glass. 6 students on how to get through college as a POC. Quote, my advice, think about the end game and how good it'll feel once you graduate and get a good degree. Either way, shit on them, sis, unquote.
That's assuming you're actually getting a good degree.
That quote just screams higher education right there.
Don't it? Shit on them, sis.
Let's see. I'll read just a little bit because this goes on a while. Being a freshman comes with some unique pitfalls, from the struggles of changing your major, the struggle, to toying with blowing your entire loan on Domino's Pizza or expanding your Secret Life of Pets toy collection.
Is this supposed to be humorous, I assume?
I don't know. For people of color, it can also often mark the first time navigating almost exclusively white spaces and subsequently being exposed to more microaggressions than usual. Recent research found that more than half of UK students have witnessed racism in college. Meanwhile, racist incidents at British universities have risen by more than 60%. I guess it depends on how you classify racist incidents. In one particularly vile incident, a group of male students were filmed chanting, quote, "We hate the blacks," and, quote, "sign the Brexit papers," unquote, at Nottingham Trent University back in March. As universities have historically handled racist incidents fairly poorly, unless their reputations are at risk, it's no wonder that surviving, and thriving on campus can be a minefield for POC students. Surviving.
Wait, okay. They use the word minefield, so maybe they mean literal mines. That's where the surviving comes from.
I suppose so. Consider the prospective students who took matters into their own hands and withdrew their applications in droves following the racism row at Exeter University earlier this year. Or the fact that black students are significantly more likely to quit than their white peers. That's their choice.
Black people make decisions to do things, but be sure you remember that it's always someone else's fault.
With the first few weeks of classes now firmly underway, I, the author, spoke to 6 current and former POC students about how their time in college has affected their personal identities, how they navigated othering, and asked for the advice they would give themselves if they could do it all again.
I spoke to people of color about their personal identities. You can't... Fuck off.
This goes on quite a while. I'm going to move on to other stuff.
Yeah. Do your work.
Okay, let's do this one from New Fate 26. Mom warns about kiss of death after newborn is hospitalized. I don't know what that means. For 11 days, everything was perfect for Lucy Kendall, her partner, Jazz Miller, and their newborn, Oliver Jazz Miller. Born August 3rd, Oliver was getting plenty to eat, sleeping like a champ, and melting hearts with his smile. Then something happened. Quote, he slowly stopped drinking milk throughout the night and started up with a temperature, Kendall wrote on Facebook. Oliver Jazz Miller was born the 3rd of August, 2018. When he was 11 days old, he slowly stopped drinking milk throughout the night and started up with a temperature. When he was 12 days old, me and my partner, ... What? I don't know why they are writing the story like this. Okay, now I think that was supposed to be a Facebook quote, but they didn't put it in quotes. I don't know. Okay, the next day, the UK parents rushed to the hospital where, quote, Oliver was put into a heated bed with oxygen, she wrote. He got a feeding tube put in along with a long line and a number of cannulas. Cannulas? I don't know what that means. Kendall said she and Jazz watched their son, quote, fight for his life in high dependency unit, this is all British stuff, for 8 straight days until the doctor came in and told them that Oliver had caught neonatal herpes. This is the second time we've heard a story about this in the recent weeks. Shocked and horrified, Kendall and Jazz wondered how something like this could happen, especially since neither one of them had cold sores or carried the virus. Quote, the doctor began to explain the herpes simplex virus can be passed onto a newborn baby if a person has a cold sore and kisses the baby or touches the baby after touching the cold sore, she wrote. She went on to say, quote, cold sores are at their most contagious when they burst or rupture. They remain contagious until they're completely healed. Oliver spent a total of 21 days in the hospital and was sent home with 6 months worth of antibiotics, as well as a prescription to return visits to the hospital. Okay, so somebody somewhere in the grand scheme of things touched the kid or kissed the kid, and
yeah, somebody. And the Twitter post there says mom warns about kiss of death. That's actually a good thing to warn people about. If you have herpes on your lip, don't kiss a child, especially a newborn. They are just coming into the world, and while they have some antibodies, very, very few at that point.
Let's see. This one. Well, how many more you want me to do, Monkey?
Let's do one more.
All right. This one comes from senior staff reporter Jack Cochran, the motherfucking Cochran. The Pied Piper of raccoons mysteriously charms nearly 24 animals by playing his flute in a New York forest. And there's video of this, and it's adorable, save for the fact that those are wild animals and can fuck you up if you're not careful. An upstate New York man has mastered the art of raccoon calling. Video posted online on September 20th by Newsflare shows the man standing on the side of a road in Brasher State Forest in St. Lawrence County, playing a beautiful tune on his Native American flute. The man's skills aren't just music to viewers' ears. The raccoons seem to like it too and come out of hiding in the woods to surround the man. Yeah, he's got like this half circle of raccoons all around him.
I put it in chat for those of you who want to see it.
Okay, and that's the totality of the story, save for a couple last lines. According to the filmmaker, at least 20 raccoons enjoyed the afternoon show before slinking back into the woods. The man, who has been dubbed the Pied Piper of raccoons, lives at the reservation and usually plays his flute for the birds and other animals.
I have a donation from Sanguine over on Streamlabs. Well, when blacks are allowed in, when whites wouldn't be, it isn't surprising when they drop out because they realize they are in over their heads. I mean, that is why there are admission standards, and you are dropping them because skin tone. I know a girl once who had a full ride to U of M who left school because she didn't have as nice a clothing as the other kids there.
What? A full ride?
Full ride to U of M on a math scholarship.
And because of clothes.
Yes. She was a black girl that I used to work with. And when she first told me that, I was like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah. What the okay.
There are various reasons why people do it. Yeah, I do think academic standards is a problem with a lot of students out there, except for the Asians.
Doesn't matter what color you are. The educational system in a lot of places is fucked up.
Well, he's got a point there about lower academic standards, and they've done that for a lot of things. I remember a report, God, it's probably been a decade ago by now, but where colleges were complaining because all of the kids coming in had to take remedial English classes.
Oh, jeez.
There was an epidemic, like half of their incoming students had to take remedial English. Those people don't belong in college. White, black, Asian, doesn't matter. If you need remedial English before you can move on in your English or in your college career, you probably are not going to have a good time there. Just throwing that out there. With that, guys, we are done with hashtag MSS News. Thank you so much for the stories. There's a lot of good ones in there we didn't get to. Sorry about that, guys. It's a time thing. But we need to move on to YouTube time because YouTube is what we do. Satsu, what did you do?
I did the first of some new content that well, I guess not new content, but a new format that I'm trying to do in order to talk about topics that interest me or several topics that have come up. On my gaming channel, I did a stream earlier, and it was basically just a chill stream of me gaming, but it was like with the camera and a lot more chill and laid back. And I had some topics to the side that we talked about, and I just opened up the floor for everybody to just kind of converse and hang out with me while I was doing my usual, and it went well. Now I'm thinking about doing that on Satsu 2 cents also, as opposed to uploading several videos about a bunch of different topics. I'm gonna pick some topics that I'm interested in, start a live stream, and just kind of chat about it with you guys or whatever, and see how that goes. Because I really like the stream format. It's a lot easier for me to do because I'm a lot less conscious of all the shit that's going on around me that annoys the fuck out of me and prevents me from doing my job in the first place. So we'll see how that pans out. As it stands now, there's no real schedule for them because I'm just testing this out. But the streams will be left up so you guys can watch them, and we'll see how that plays out.
All right. And Scribbles, what'd you work on today?
I did a follow-up live stream covering the second half of Iron Fist Season 2.
I caught part of that.
Used that last night, and yeah, I didn't get any better. I mean, I won't recite everything here that I said there, but I just don't understand how. Well, I you know, you look at Daredevil Season 1, and just what a relative masterpiece that was of storytelling and character development and action and pathos and all that fun stuff. And you think, yeah, that's the standard. That's the Iron Man of the Netflix Marvel universe. This is the metric by which all the other ones are going to be measured. And to this point, none of them have gotten anywhere near as close to good as that first season. And I thought, and like I said on the stream, I take each one of these seasons as their own deal, because just like with comic books, if you have a writer and an artist leave and a new writer and artist come in, you could have a great storyline after a horrible storyline, because you have different people giving their interpretation of the character. And you still love the character, even if sometimes they're not portrayed the most effectively. So I thought Iron Fist Season 2 has as much chance of being an excellent season as any of the other ones, because, you know, maybe they'll learn from their mistakes, and maybe they'll have different people come on, and blah, blah, blah. Maybe Netflix will realize that they had bad people running the first show. Nope. It just sucks. So anyway, and I give my reasons for thinking that there. So that's what I did today. I got a couple of videos I'm looking at and maybe working on this weekend, depending if I have the time. But that's all I've done.
All righty. I didn't work on a video today, guys. Little Butt showed up and I hung out with her, and then I took a nap for a while, and then I did the stream with SDA and Weibo, and thank you, ladies, for having me on. It was a good show. Make sure to watch it sometime. I am this is one of those power of no kind of things. I'm working on a thought.
Oh,
And
a thought. THOT.
no, not
Just
exactly.
working on a thought.
We'll get to it a little bit more here at Deep Topic Time. So we'll come back to that. So let's move on to internet fucketry. Dun, dun, dun. Do you guys have any fucketry today?
I didn't really engage in much fuckery outside of the Tariq Nasheed thing. I was following that a little bit.
Oh, that was glorious.
Yeah, that was pretty entertaining. Although, here, let me see if I can find this real quick. Damn, I just had it up, and this dude just responded to the message that I put up, because there was a dude on there talking about, this is the chick who, you know, who supposedly took down Tariq, and she's bragging about it, and we need to show her. Oh, here it is. This is the woman bragging about lying to Twitter. They said she was lying to Twitter because Tariq Nasheed, I guess, didn't post a picture of her and didn't accuse her of being a white supremacist, even though he obviously did. But, you know, that's what he said. Her name is, and he put her screen name or whatever, and he said, and she is claiming to have power by causing Tariq to lose his blue check. So let's show her our power. And I said, hey, guys, that person did a really bad thing. Shame on her. Let's mimic it. And then I put, the bottom line is Tariq Nasheed attempted to slander her, and she did what she had the right to do, so get over it. And his response was, stop threatening me.
Nice.
And
that's a threat, huh?
I don't even know what to say to it. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, that's more of something you just drool over. For those of you who missed it, Tariq Nasheed lost his blue check mark. Oh, and because he linked to this woman and was trying to, their official response is that he shared her picture, something like that, in a country that has privacy laws.
No.
Or from a country that has privacy laws. Now, in Tariq's mind, this is what Twitter has been up to the whole time. And what I'm about to tell you, I'm not making this up. You can go verify it on his Twitter account. Tariq Nasheed believes that all along Twitter has wanted to silence black people on Twitter.
Oh.
And in order to accommodate this, they took away the blue check marks from Richard Spencer and David Duke, just so one day they could take it away from him.
Okay.
Swear to y'all, that's what he said on Twitter.
So essentially what he's saying is, I am a supremacist just like they are, and they took them out so they can eventually take out a black supremacist and get away with it.
Well, no, he's claiming, for him, it's not about him being a supremacist. See, they hit those obvious white supremacists just so eventually they could take out the even-keeled black man.
Right. It's a cover. It's a cover for their
It's
racism.
a cover.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, and it is fun. You guys have got to go check out his Twitter. It is fucking glorious. He posted a GIF of women twerking and a GIF about how much he loves fried chicken.
Oh, Jesus.
It is fucking ridiculous, but it is so funny because he's losing his shit over losing his check mark.
Well, what's so funny is, you know, we've had this situation before, and one of the comments that I put up and that I saw other people say is like, dude, Twitter just told you that you aren't you.
Yeah.
Like, how does that feel to know that you aren't who you thought you were? Because Twitter has determined you not to be you anymore.
Now anybody can be Tariq Nasheed, although you probably don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter has some new vague standards about dehumanizing language, so be careful of that, you guys. They're no longer going to allow dehumanizing language. I don't know what that means. I guess saying you're not human.
All right.
So yeah, keep an eye out for that, for far more people to get in trouble. Your boy Pat says Tariq's problem is he thought he was untouchable. He did, and it's because for a long time Twitter gave him that idea. If you go back and watch the arguments between him and Bunty, he was a dick, breaking all kinds of rules.
Oh, and not only that, he was bragging about the fact that he felt he was immune on Twitter. Yeah, I remember those tweets. He was just like, yeah, go ahead and tell Twitter, see what they'll do.
Yep. But remember, they took the check marks away from Richard Spencer and David Duke so they could get Tariq Nasheed.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, oh my, it's been fun to watch. It's pretty much the only thing I did on Twitter today other than argue about the whole Kavanaugh thing. Because I'm looking through here and I don't see anything else today. So yeah,
I got a quick one.
Oh, go ahead.
So Donald Trump had a standalone press conference today.
Oh, yes, he did.
Which was all sorts of entertaining in a way. But our favorite friend at CNN was sort of live tweeting while this was going on. And he put out a tweet that said, "Quick, write the lead sentence to describe this press conference." And I forget who it was. I think it was somebody retweeted me on that one or tagged me on that one, said, "Quick, Scribe, say something." And I said, quote, "We in the media couldn't make this stuff up if we tried. And we have."
Nice.
So there you go. That was my attempt at being a CNN editor for 10 seconds.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. There were several questions in that press conference. They were baiting him to call these women liars. And Trump actually, he held his ground very well for him, I would say. The one part saying, "I'm not playing that game," and good for you, dude. Way to recognize it. That's out of character for you.
Just a bit, yeah.
Anyhow, so I do kind of have a deep topic tonight if we're done with fucketry, and it's what I was talking about before. So, anything else, gentlemen?
Not me.
I talked about this a little bit the other day about how men need to stop just listening to women, and with this new allegation, the rape on a boat against Kavanaugh, you're talking about two men who you honestly believed a woman was sexually assaulted, or a man, or however it comes out, and instead of going to the police, you went and beat him up. Even if you went and beat him up, you could still go to the fucking police. But we've come to a point, and you and I both commented on a Splinter article today, where they said Kavanaugh releases his calendar in the latest attempt to prove his innocence.
Prove his innocence.
Yeah. That's not how our system works. And I've seen several people go, "Well, this isn't a court of law, it's a job interview." Yeah, but even then, I mean, presumption of innocence is our standard. Yes. And if you look at this Kavanaugh case, it's apparent that Listen and Believe has had its time. It's time to stop that shit. I'm all for stopping sexual assault, minimizing that kind of stuff as much as we can. We're never going to stop it all because criminals exist. But Listen and Believe is not how you fix that. And I saw one person put on Twitter today, be careful when you're listening to Hollywood starlets talk about how horrible rape is. These are the same people who let Weinstein get away for it for decades just to help their career. And
that directly correlates to the situation right now.
Exactly. I'm honestly starting to believe men and women aren't supposed to talk to each other. And not look,
not in this environment, it's not safe.
But see, the problem with this is most of what's coming out about Kavanaugh isn't even in this environment. We're talking fucking 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And even with the stupid story about, judging weird science by today's standards, if what they suggest about Kavanaugh, the earliest stuff, the gang rape and the attempted rape, that was never something that was okay. And it's never been something that society had been like, "Oh, rape, no big deal." But for some reason, women are being told that it's okay not to tell people, that you should bring it out later and ruin careers instead of, having people go to fucking jail for committing crimes and then going, patriarchy. That's not patriarchy. I'm just to the point where it's like, I don't think men and women belong together. I think we need to go back to days of, if they're going to hang out, they should have chaperones, and that includes for sexual intercourse. And I'm seriously thinking about making a video on the stupidity of men, because I understand women sticking together. I don't understand men going, you know what? If somebody said this about me, I think that everybody should believe it just because she said it.
Yeah, it is super surprising. And like if I wasn't afraid of somebody actually fucking getting me for slander or some shit like that, I swear I would be that person to just be going around, and every time I see somebody's like, you need to believe her, you raped my sister, you need to believe her, you raped my cousin, you need to believe her. Like just going down the line, just like, all of you are horrible rapists.
The part that I thought about today is like, okay, well then we should never ever again put a woman on trial for anything. I mean, by that standard, Susan Smith really did have her children kidnapped by a black man in a knit cap, and even if we find the car with the children drowned in it and her fingerprints everywhere, obviously she didn't do it because she says she didn't. So how far are people willing to take this new declaration of women are indemnified from doubt? Really
Thank
curious.
you, Ragnak. Oh, sorry. Hashtag based women's living. Linden. Am I saying that right, or is that a typo? I think it's a typo. Anyway, or it's silly speak. My question today is when we heard these allegations from Swetnick. I don't know her first name. Do we listen and believe her? Because if we do, she's a criminal.
Right.
She not only this isn't a case of, well, I didn't tell what happened to me. This is literally what people bitched about Milo doing with the one party he went to where he said he saw people. Well, you didn't name names and you can never be in public again.
Right.
You just told us that as an adult, you went to these parties, you saw this happening, and you did nothing. Now, do I believe you about that, or do I believe you about you getting raped? Because they all go together in your story.
Yeah.
But on the overall, just the idea of listen and believe is so mind-blowingly stupid to me. By all means, yes, you investigate if somebody comes forward for a criminal investigation, and you don't treat them like they did something wrong by reporting it. But at some point, you have to just go, you know what, this doesn't make sense. The argument I got into on SDA stream with the I forget his name, some liberal dude. He was saying that we can't say Kavanaugh didn't do this, and what we need is an investigation. It's talking about Ford specifically. In Ford's case, she named 4 people who she said were at the party. All 4 have said they have no recollection of it,
right,
including a woman who is supposedly a good friend of hers. The only corroborating evidence she has is statements that came long after the fact to people who weren't there, and a polygraph test. A polygraph test, which apparently actually contradicts one of the stories that's been told. How many people were at the party is one of the questions she was asked, and it contradicts what she said. But polygraph tests can be beaten. There's people, you can watch YouTube videos on how to beat a polygraph test. And they also only work if you actually believe what they work if you believe what you're saying. If you've told yourself a story often enough, you can begin to believe it.
They're not admissible in court.
Because they're crap.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're rife with a misinterpretation. They don't determine anything. If the only thing they really do is they're used as leverage against people in criminal situations, in the interrogation process or the interview process, as a sort of pressure point, if nothing else, and that's about it.
But for me, the most mind-boggling part of this is men out there going, yes, we need to listen and believe. Because that's like a black guy arguing for slavery.
You're sitting down in the electric chair when you do that. You're just waiting for somebody to pull the lever on you is all.
Oh yeah.
Are you sure you never sexually pushed a woman against a wall? I don't even know how you sexually push a woman against the wall.
Oh, I've done
it. Now, if they said, with a kiss or groping, okay, but just pushed her against the wall? That sounds more like just regular assault. That sounds more like Keith Ellison.
No, there's
just kidding, guys.
No, there's so you can in the passionate throes of making out and stuff, you could push a woman against a wall, and it could be an action of intense, passion, lust, romance, whatever. You ever see one of those things where it's like in a movie where the man and the woman who are obviously going to get together just kind of talking and fighting with each other, and then smash cut to them pressing each other against the wall and making out real hard and fast?
Yeah, but see, that's different than what's described here. This is
I understand that. I understand that. Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I mean, in what's described there, if that was a true thing, then yeah, just grabbing somebody and throwing them up against the wall without their being either involved or being a willing participant, yes, that's assault. But you can push somebody up against a wall romantically. That's
the problem is that like literally, whether a person says you push them up against the wall in a specific way or not, there's no way to prove that it was done in said way that you explained. So, Scribe, you might want to find out what that chick's name is and look out for her.
But Satsu's not wrong, and this is one of the things where so between everybody sitting here on the show right now, I'm the only single guy. Okay. I've thought about this a lot lately because I already had, prior to all of this stuff, I already had a lot of issues with relationships simply because I've made some very bad, in hindsight, very bad decisions. And so I always have to question, okay, well, how much of this was me being short-sighted or not reading signals, and how much of this was them being duplicitous in some way or whatever. So there's trust issues on both ends of the spectrum for me. This just galvanizes it. This is like, well, even if I read a situation right, all that has to happen is someone to change their mind, and I could be in deep fucking shit for nothing. Mm-hmm. And I have been the person who had a false accusation levied against them and had their real life threatened because someone had a grudge. So I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of, I'm convicted without a trial in so many ways. For something I didn't do. So yeah, there's a certain level of, unfortunately, and it's the same thing that happened with Henry Cavill, when he talked about that. There's a rational paranoia because of what's going on these days, and you just don't know how much am I willing to roll the dice, looking for love or romance on the chance that the one wrong choice, the one wrong person I make a move at, say something to, make a sideways glance at, isn't going to decide that they're a victim and I'm a villain, and to what court do I appeal when all it takes, it seems, is the accusation?
Yeah, and in light of some of the stories that we've seen, like, people saying, like, I'm just not going to associate with women. Like, I'm not going to deal with them or whatever in social situations because it could either jeopardize this or that, or it can cause this type of problem. And people are like, that's ridiculous. You're being ridiculous. And then they're still pushing the narrative that no matter what a woman says about you or what evidence they have to back that up, you need to believe it, period. So they're saying you're ridiculous for feeling like you can't be around a woman. All you have to do is just not be an asshole. But by the way, if a woman does accuse you of anything for any reason, regardless of any evidence, you should just believe it and throw away your life for it. It's like you can't say both of those things at once.
Listen to and sorry guys, I know I'm breaking up because I heard you both break up. I apologize if it's coming through. But listen to the latest charges against Kavanaugh. He pushed this woman against the wall, right? Mm-hmm. His girlfriend at the time, according to the story. So what would be the problem there?
Like I said, I don't know. This
Well, because they said in a sexual way, not in a violent way, in a sexual way. So
It's
yeah,
his
what would be the
girlfriend.
problem there?
You know what I'm really pissed off about
What's that?
more than anything else. Everything I just described. It is almost, I don't want to live in paranoia. I don't want to feel like I can't approach a woman or court a woman or compliment a woman. I already have enough social awkwardness just from being the shy kid with glasses when I was young. I only sort of kind of came out of my shell in college, and then a month later was president of the Bondage Club. But I mean, I don't want to think that I've been forced into becoming effectively, not by choice, a MGTOW. I mean, not that I hate women, but I mean, the end result is effectively the same. I avoid making any meaningful or otherwise complex contact with women because I don't know where the landmines are anymore. Not only in individuals as to their temperament or anything else, that's always been a concern for men. Don't put your dick in crazy. But now, completely otherwise reasonable women might be seeing or having these things reinterpreted for them as if a guy does this thing, or if you think that a guy is being XYZ, you need to report it as though it were a crime. I don't know. Maybe I'm just nuts. I feel very, very. I think I feel more awkward today in this environment than I probably did in high school. And I was a shy motherfucker in high school.
Older Mind said, did she say if he did anything after he pushed her into the wall? Well, she didn't say it. This was a kind of she did.
Letter from a daughter from a friend thing.
The accusation is right now, as it stands, is they were leaving a dinner drunk and he pushed her against the wall aggressively and sexually. Yeah, that's it.
Whatever sexually means. I'm going to assume that means something like he pushed her up against the wall and pressed himself against her. That's the only sort of component to that scenario that I can imagine. If you're not going to say something more detailed, like he pushed her against the wall and forced her to kiss him or something, then sexually, I'm not quite sure how you promote sexuality and just pressing somebody up against the wall unless you're using your body to do it.
Yeah, Scrappy says wall humped her, but yeah, that would be a specific allegation that he dry humped her or grabbed her breast or planted a big old kiss on her. None of that is in the description. So yeah, but yeah, we're to the point. I don't understand how a single guy isn't MGTOW.
Again, like I say, I don't want to say that I'm MGTOW because it's not a matter of.
Oh, sure.
I'm not paranoid of women. I'm not like a misogynist. I'm not hateful of women because they're women. I'm just exceedingly hesitant to take a risk in trying to approach a woman, and not necessarily in just a sort of flirtatious or romantic way, just in general. Because and I've seen this in my personal life, if you tell the wrong joke within earshot of somebody, if you say the wrong thing or you make an awkward pass at somebody, I don't know what the end result will be other than, in the past, the worst case scenario for me was somebody would just either reject me or laugh it off, or it'd be one of those friend zone situations. Now I got to wonder, is that going to be the initiating event for something that destroys my life?
And again, this is why I don't understand why men are going along with this. So many men like they're above it.
Okay. Well, the rest of us don't have a choice but to go along with it because we don't have any idea about what's coming next. I can understand why men go along with it. You know why they go along with it? They have to announce that they're on the side, so they have some kind of defense in case somebody makes an accusation, even though it's going to be a defense that doesn't help because all it takes is to believe women. But if they make the declaration that I'm on the side of the women, well, that is a survival instinct, a sexual survival instinct. I mean, I'm not willing to forego my skeptical faculties just to go along to get along and agree and listen and believe. But I can understand why guys do, because they probably feel as trapped as I do, and their only way out. Because what other recourse do they have? I mean, just to be completely mental exercise for a second. What other recourse in this situation do men have to try to maintain some connection or some sense that they can safely interact with women?
Stand up and call this bullshit. There are women out there who don't subscribe to this nonsense. Real quick, thank you, James Colley. Solution video all encounters. That's probably not a bad point, but the reason that this is so prevalent is because there is no pushback against it. None. Even if you look at what's going on with Kavanaugh, it's like, well, we should hear both sides, which is fine. But you have, we should hear both sides or just believe her. There's nobody going, excuse me, this is fucking nonsense. There's nobody standing up doing it. And every time we see this,
Trump did it today. People have been doing it all day, and then they say, "Oh, now you're part of the problem."
I've seen people on Twitter. I haven't seen anybody with a voice doing it on Twitter.
Now, there are people who are saying it, but then you're just feeding into the idea that women aren't believed and that you're part of the problem. And this is why women don't come forward with their allegations when they should, is because they don't think they'll be believed because of men like you.
Man, which makes no sense, because
no, it doesn't make any sense, but it's compelling. That's the problem.
I know, but it blows my mind because it can't be women telling other women not to come forward. That's not what compels women not to come forward. Women telling you, don't worry, you have 1,000 excuses on why you shouldn't. So don't. It's fine. It's not that. It's literally people asking for proof. That's why women aren't coming forward. And you need to just not ask for proof and just believe them. Period. And then it'll be safer for them to come forward because they'll never be wrong. Oh, man.
Yeah. I see what you're saying there, Scribe. I do. I just think we need that McCarthy moment, and it's not going to happen as long as you have so many men proudly claiming, I believe her.
Well, I mean, you just need to, I mean, if someone would just take the Edward R. Murrow speech about McCarthy, because everything in there is exactly the same. Accusation is not proof. You know, we must not live in fear of one another, et cetera, et cetera. And that's not anything that you couldn't just replay on the air today. And I just want to say, I don't mean to sound as maybe sort of like crazy paranoid as maybe I came across, but I am concerned. I'm concerned for myself, you know, because, well, you know, I'm concerned for myself, but, you know, I don't like feeling like I can't talk to people. I mean, I have enough problems with my social anxieties as it is, to have this sensation that anywhere I go, if I'm just repeating myself, I apologize.
No, you're fine. Jean-Pierre says marriage is a trap for men, in my humble opinion. Speak for yourself, buddy. Been doing it for 25 years, and as I look at the world around me, I think I made the right choice.
You got lucky. You got lucky.
On that, guys, we're going to move on to chat time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into chat now. Your opinions on this or anything we've talked about or anything in general, throw it into chat and we'll do our best to address what you say. Speaking of that, Amanda Wolfchild says, you know what keeps women from coming forward? Mostly it's your own damn family or your closest friends, whoever you tell. Their reaction is usually why you don't tell anyone else.
Yeah,
I've never been there, so I take your word for it. I know she's a survivor, so.
Mm.
And I'm not outing her, guys. She talked about that in chat earlier. Can popcorn be a meal? Anything that you eat can be a meal. Is it
if the struggle is real enough, anything is a meal.
Yeah. I've had crackers before and not good ones. They were stale.
That's a racist, monkey.
Dude, I literally ate a rice sandwich one time.
Oh, I used to love pickle sandwiches, dude. And not because it was my favorite thing to eat. It's because I realized you could make those when I was starving one night. Let's see. I'll be married 25 years on Halloween. Congratulations, older.
You got married on Halloween? Creepy.
I actually have a friend that I used to work with. They got married on Halloween, and they looked like they should be married on Halloween.
I technically got married, not on Halloween, but I was in a Frankenstein costume. I was 3, and my best friend was a girl who lived up the street, and she was 4, and we decided to have a scary Mary out on my deck. And my parents, my parents and her parents were just, they thought it was so cute. So she dressed up as a zombie, and I was Frankenstein. My Frankenstein head, how it's squared off, was actually a paper bag. My mom had cut a hole out for my face and drawn the Frankenstein like hair and head on it, and I wore that. And we went out on the deck, and we had a scary Mary. So technically, I'm married to her, I suppose, even though now she's off and grown with 3 kids of her own. But yeah.
Where was that at? If you had to transport bees, how would you do so? With a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, there you go.
Get someone else to do it.
You need a basket over Nicolas Cage's head.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, Random. Random asks, how are you expecting Flare Fritz to screw up the server this time? Flare's actually been good the last few nights, and that reminds you guys, after this, over on 2 Cents Plus, we will be playing 7 Days to Die in the open server. So come join us if you want to play, or come watch, because it's always a good time. Do you want kids and stuff, Scribe?
I would want kids if I was in a solid relationship with someone. I don't see kids as an end in and of themselves. I'd see them as an outgrowth of a already established relationship. My parents didn't have children until they were married for 10 years. So they knew after a decade of living together that they were probably in it for life at that point. And they tried to have children prior, but there was miscarriages. And then I came along, and then my sister came along, and they're like, okay, that's it. My dad got his tubes tied, so to speak. Clipped, snipped. And,
snipped and burned is how they do it.
Yep.
Don't worry.
And so, yeah, I have those paternal, biological clock instincts, but it would take a lot of things to be checked off on a list first before I felt comfortable to have a child.
Richard Art says, I'm sorry if I came across as a dick. My dad called me to do something unexpectedly. That he's referring to over on SDA's stream. They have a question and answer period where they actually let people call in. And Rich was the last one to call in while I still had time to be there, but he wasn't able to get his question out before I had to go, because I had to get this done. Don't worry, Rich. I didn't take it personal at all. Real quick, from Flair, I've been good because I'm busy setting up the groundwork for my ethno state near town. What ethnicity?
Starting an all zombie society. No people.
Ebony asks, barbecue or seafood? Barbecue. I don't like seafood.
Seafood.
Nah.
If I really had to pick, it would be seafood over barbecue. I'm sorry.
You can have, how about a barbecued salmon steak?
Scribe trying to have the best of both worlds there.
That's right. I'm trying to find a good compromise.
Jagunsky says, after looking at the accusers, is leftism a mental disorder? No.
I feel like we get that question every night.
We get asked that a lot. And I mean, this goes back to Milo and leftism is cancer and leftism is a brain disorder. It's not. It's...
Any ideology taken to its extreme is unhealthy. Let's put it that way. Or, faith without evidence. Doesn't matter what context, whether it's religion or politics or whatever. It's not inherently a mental disorder, but it can turn into one if you don't stop and try to weigh things rationally.
Now, I would consider extreme versions of any ideology borderline mental disorder.
Well,
because the way that they can be sometimes, it's just like, you have to be fucking insane to think that anything you are saying is even remotely acceptable. Like, that's the only explanation, is you have to be fucking crazy.
Well, it's when you take listen and believe far enough along to an ideology or something like that, where it's like, if anyone says they're a Republican, they're immediately the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of bigotry and intolerance. When you set aside any critical thinking faculties in favor of your choice of outlook, it may not be technically a mental disease, but it is certainly one where you're choosing to be delusional half the time.
Flair Fritz says, and thank you for the donation, the white version of Wakanda, White Conda. Dear God.
Anaconda.
Yeah, if you look at things like the Salem witch trials, McCarthy, these people aren't insane.
Mhm.
They're driven. They're ideologues, for lack of a better word, and out for petty revenges. And in this case, it would not matter who Donald Trump had nominated here. If they were not absolutely pro-choice, they were going to be just assaulted over and
No,
over.
even then, because to back up a candidate pushed up by Trump would be giving Trump a win.
Oh yeah, like
I
it doesn't
think
matter.
even yeah.
Yeah. If this person parroted every single talking point that they have been pushing flawlessly, like to the letter, they would have still been like, well, sorry, we still got to sacrifice you because Trump likes you.
I think there would have been less of a pushback if it was somebody like the lady, I forget who was up, and if she had been pro-choice, I think they would have thrown a fit, but they would have let it go through. This this fight is about two things right now, guys. It's about abortion and it's about Ken Starr, the Bill Clinton investigation, because Kavanaugh worked on that. There's people who want to get revenge for that, and there's people who are desperately trying to make sure they don't have to use birth control. Jean asked when Lady Monkey will be on stream again. I don't know. I'll talk to her. We'll have her on sometime. What else do we have here, guys? Who is Howard Dare?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Anyone?
Who?
Howard Dare? I don't know. Jaster asked best fantasy universe. That's another one we get quite often.
Fantasy Ice Pirates.
Probably the D&D universe. It's the most fleshed out.
Well, it's one of the most malleable fantasy universes, I suppose.
I don't know. Shit. I don't think I knew last time either, so I'm
Good
being
answer.
consistent.
Tariq got his check mark back. What?
Oh shit!
Just now.
Did he
Wow.
really?
Double
Now
check.
we know he's him.
Now I got to go make sure. Not that I'm doubting you, but people fuck with us from time to time. So
I'm relieved, man. There was no way I was gonna know he was him.
He does. He's got his check mark back.
No, he complained to the right people, I guess.
Oh yeah, he's got connects too. He wasn't playing around.
Wow. Well, then why did they take away Richard Spencer and David Dukes?
Because they're white.
Oh, I bet it's to get him later.
Well, you know what?
Huh.
First of all, we live in the age where the power of accusation alone, even if it's completely baseless and ridiculous, is enough. So the fact that he said, oh, Twitter's racist, and they've been waiting to do this all along, they're like, oh, shit, now we got to give it back to him because we don't want that to be true. So
Yeah, that's weird. Huh. Way to give in there. Oh, man.
and they basically just confirmed that it is totally okay to slander other people and post pictures about them and send hate mobs at them as long as you're the right person.
Well, I hate to defend Tariq here. I really do. But their reasoning was that he shared a picture of this woman in a country that it's not where they have privacy laws. But he shared a picture she posted on her own public Twitter.
Oh.
So, I mean, in his defense, he's not wrong there. So, yeah, that's probably the right decision. But after his fit today, how could you should take it back for other reasons. Oh, my God. Let's see. Sorry, guys. What do we got here? Satsu, Ranting Monkey, Scribe Light. Do you know what fluffer nutters and egg creams are? Hint,
Yeah,
it's not about porn.
Yeah, they're candies.
I know what egg creams are. I don't know what a fluffer nutter is.
It's like a peanut bar, peanut butter bar, something like that. I know of them. I don't think I've ever had one, but I know of them.
Lords of the Night, would you think it would be more interesting if Trump had picked a woman or the woman? I think it would be less interesting if you're talking about, how much everybody's talking about it. I think it'd be done by now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to hear how crafty these people are in trying to destroy her, because they would, and I would just Like, what are they going to do? She has a
She would have
vagina.
been-
So,
She would have led rape gangs against other women for Brett Kavanaugh.
yeah.
It was also found that during the SWT, some of the accusers were under the influence of ergot. Oh, the Salem witch trials. Oh yeah, so
Oh yeah, the mold that can drive you a little nuts.
I think it had more to do with catty women.
And jealousies and personal things, and
Mhm.
also just trying to show their virtue by how religious and penitent they were.
Faith, that's actually a good question, something we've touched on before. Theories on why Ford polygraphed herself ahead of time if she honestly planned to stay anonymous.
Cover.
She didn't plan to stay anonymous.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. She didn't. Yeah, she had every intention with coming forward. The little bits of hesitancy and everything else. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know what happened, but as calculated and as lackadaisical as Ford's whole thing has been, I can't help but be a little, not even a little, but very suspicious of not only the story but her motives. Yeah.
Kyle asked if I've ever watched SAO Abridged, and I have, and it was fucking hilarious.
Don't know what that is. I assume it's an anime.
You know what a abridged is, right?
It's not complete.
Basically, that's when somebody takes a show or something that's already voiced and completed and does like their own voiceovers for it. In the anime community, there's a lot of channels that take shows that are really popular and they redo the whole show with their own voiceovers and everything. And some of them are really terrible and stupid and just like, why? And
why would you call that abridged if it's not shortened? Why would you call it like a cover or something?
Who knows? That's what they call them.
I don't get it. All right.
And there, some of them are really good.
All right.
Jenna says, I believe you have every right to agree with things from all sides. I think open-mindedness is a positive, helpful thing. Go figure. I agree. I think if you take any side zealously, then you're probably an idiot. If you're just sitting there, I believe the Democrats, I believe the Republicans, you don't, because you're an idiot. Fluffer Nutter is a peanut butter and fluff sandwich. Ew.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a candy. I thought it was like a candy.
That's like marshmallow fluff, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah. Okay.
Questions, comments, concerns, guys. Can you touch your nose with your tongue, ranting monkey? No, I can't. Can you guys?
Nope.
Satsu's trying right now. He'll let you know in a second.
Wait, what was the? I was reading Jean Pierre's question. What was the?
Can you touch your nose to your tongue?
No.
Your tongue to your nose. Sorry.
I don't do interviews.
Jenna says he should have picked Queen Elizabeth just for kicks and giggles. It'd be funny. M&Ms or Skittles? Peanut M&Ms. I like when you all get all foodie on us. Satsu, on a scale of amazing to perfect, how good is a show is SAO?
What?
I'm going to stop asking you questions.
You said how good a show is SAO?
Yeah.
It depends on which one you watch. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not great. There are some severe things wrong with the first and the second season that really break the immersion and make the major threat to the show just a minor inconvenience. But other than that, it's serviceable.
Let's see. What else do we have going on here? To quote Dr. Phil, common sense just ain't common enough anymore. Yeah, and that's what I've noticed so much with this Kavanaugh thing. I mean, especially that second girl story. Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? Crunchy mint M&Ms. No, mint and chocolate do not go together. Stop it.
Mint chocolate.
Stop it. That's bad. You're wrong.
Oh.
Are pancakes an acceptable dessert? Of course, if they're
Sure.
I mean, why not?
Wait a
Especially if
minute.
you put lots of good stuff on them.
This bitch put on her Twitter how to be bi in 6 easy steps.
Doesn't it only
Bisexual,
take
by the way.
Fuck a girl, fuck a guy, enjoy both. The end.
Listen to this list. This is how to be bisexual, folks.
Okay.
Be an anxious and panicky mess. That's number 1. Cuffed jeans or sweatpants that have ankle bands. That's number 2. Bite your nails, yet still want to grow them out. These are the things that make you bisexual, folks. That's 3.
I don't think that's what makes you bisexual.
Be soft, but you can also be a bitch too. Finger guns or awkward thumbs up, and probably a writer or an artist.
That's stupid.
Wait, are they trying to tell you how to be one or how to spot one, and therefore including everybody and going like, see how common it is?
I don't know, but somebody said, I feel like at least one of those should have been be attracted to both men and women.
Right.
You
Yeah.
think? Oh my God. Lots of people in chat, everybody actually agrees with me that mint does not go with chocolate. Thank you, everyone.
You're all wrong.
Oh. The response to that was, I feel like one of those should have been be attracted to men and women. Somebody said, I understand this is a joke, but let me correct you. Be attracted to more than one gender. And their response is, sorry about that.
Oh no. See, yeah, this is the whole common sense isn't common anymore. You know why it's called bi? Because there's 2.
There's a binary, yo.
And see, there's a whole bunch of other people saying that mint and chocolate don't go together. Yeah, you're right.
I go against the grain. What can I tell you?
Let's see. So far, everybody in chat has said that.
Well, geez, if everybody told you to jump off a bridge, monkey, would you do it?
No, but I said it first. Therefore, they would all be following me off the bridge. So you should be asking them that.
No, whatever. You're all wrong.
That's a lot of signs for bisexuals. Wait, am I bisexual? Asked Yoda. You might be, and you just didn't know.
By that description, a lot of people are bisexual.
I don't know how many times we have to say this. Bi, 2. There are 2 sexes, and if you have sex with both of them and enjoy it, you're bisexual. Dun dun dun. Yeah, there's so many people talking about how mint does not go with chocolate. You guys are so right. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all coming along with me on that. Let's see. Thank you, Cryptic. What's spicy and full of liquids in Sichuan, China? Dog soup. Remember, he's Asian. He can do those things. Stargazer Nuts says, monkey lies. Monkey wouldn't lie. Monkey might occasionally exaggerate the truth for humorous effect. Remember, I am for entertainment purposes only.
But jokes are dead, monkey.
Not in my world. And so many people agreeing with this. Yes, mint and chocolate suck. You guys are so right. But now they are all over the mint and chocolate. Do peanut butter and bananas go together? Actually, yes, surprisingly well.
I'm not a big fan of bananas, so.
Weibo says, I apologize for the spiciness of the show earlier, monkey. Okay.
You're apologizing to monkey over spiciness? Have you listened to the show?
Hang on a sec. Ex-Bubba Hotep, thank you. As soon as humans start reproducing by way of spores, only then will I say there are more than 2 sexes. Well done. And Jordan says, thin mints are disgusting. And Snubbert says, how many of you hypocrites enjoy Fannie Mae mints? Nobody does. Nobody.
Fannie Mae mints. I don't know what those are.
I don't either. To what Weibo was talking about when the dude came on to argue about the Kavanaugh thing, he got a little spicy and I got spicy back, and I was okay with it. Weibo didn't seem okay with it. She was like, "Gotta calm it down, guys." I'm like, "What? I'm not even upset yet. Did you see me with with either Tonka or Vegan Gains. Yeah, I wasn't even worked up yet. So, Monkey, hope you're alone in that room. Don't want anyone else hit by lightning. Oh, why? Is there a storm?
God damn, somebody screenshotted this in record time.
What's that?
The mint chocolate fucking debate.
Oh, is it screenshotted?
Amanda's on it. Go ahead, Amanda. You quick.
We both said I had to cut you all off because we have a time frame. Yeah, no, I understood that, and that was fine. But you apologized. You apologized for the spiciness, and the spiciness was fine with me. So no worries there, girl. Let's see. Mint chocolate is unacceptable. I agree, Yoda. The original Shroom says mint and chocolate don't go together, right? Sixlets or sweet tarts? Oh, that's a tough one. I like them both about equally. I don't eat either one very often, just like at Halloween. Stargazer Nuts, thank you so much. She has dropped the Discord link so you can join us if you'd like to play 7 Days to Die. And she's also dropped the channel link in there if you just like to watch. By the way, Weibo, you said you'd come watch us play games and you still haven't. You should be apologizing for that. Yeah.
SDA showed up.
Yeah, she did. Oh, Weibo saying her spiciness. Oh, you weren't bad. You just calmed things down. You were fine. Stop worrying. If I had a problem, I'd have told you. That's who I am. Check Your Logic says it's bigoted to like mint chocolate. I agree. I love how they are just playing along with this. Do they know what's happening here? Shit, I forgot to take my medicine. Y'all talk for a second. I'm an hour serious? Past 2 hours past 2. That's gonna suck.
Okay, I swear I thought I heard you take your medicine earlier.
Did I take?
Oh no,
medicine?
Wait, that was taking medicine behind me. Is what I heard.
No, remember, because I got here right on time today, so I didn't. Yeah. MC Hammer or Tone Loc? Ooh, I think Hammer had a better catalog of music, but I think I prefer Funky Cold Medina and Wild Thing more than any of MC Hammer's stuff.
Fucky.
Excuse me, thank you. What's your favorite '90s rapper? Probably Snickers Bar.
Wah, wah.
I pulled a Scribe joke for y'all. Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Jenna says Weibo Monkey isn't one to keep something to himself. Ain't that the fucking truth? What do either of you have a favorite '90s rapper?
I don't know. I remember listening to Ludacris a lot when I was a kid.
Trying to think of Vanilla Ice.
Oh God. A '90s rapper.
Nothing, just said the same thing.
I don't know.
Word to your mother. Sir Mix-a-Lot. Mix-a-Lot's good. Actually, have you ever seen the video he did where he was with that orchestra and he did?
Yeah, and he got all the ladies come up on stage.
That was fucking awesome.
That was funny.
How have none of them said Eazy-E? Because Eazy sounded like he had been sucking on a dick, and he was more of an '80s rapper, by the way. The whole NWA and then the breakup was all in the '80s.
Yeah. Fat Boys.
Oh, Fat Boys are great, but again, '80s.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, or the '90s, right? Well, okay. Belle Biv DeVoe.
R&B, not really rap.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, Boys to Men.
Also R&B. This is what happens
Super
when you ask
R&B.
the whitest guy on the planet about rap.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, Snow. Sorry, Snow.
Snow.
Armor? Oh, sorry.
Former, yeah. Glow in the Dark CIA Knickers, great name, by the way. Ask, since Telltale went under, what will happen to 7 Days to Die?
7 Days to Die is fine.
Yeah.
On PC.
Yeah, it's
Right.
only published by them for console. So the people from 7 Days to Die came out and literally said, "We're fine. We're not going to be affected at all, except for the console version." And to be honest, you can only go up from here as far as console people are concerned. Worst case scenario, you stagnate where you are, which you've been doing this whole time anyway. So there you go.
Cryptic says, Cain and Abel, time after time. Thank you for the donation. Excuse me. Have you ever met a girl you tried to date? Oh, Jack, he's quoting rap lyrics at me. LL was, see, a lot of you guys are either naming people from the 80s or aren't rappers. LL Cool J came up in the 80s. Master P would qualify as the 90s. Kid and Play would be the 80s. Oh man, I used to love House Party. House Party was such a great movie. Robin Harris as the dad in that. God rest his soul. I don't believe in a God, but God rest his soul. I loved Robin Harris.
Wasn't that the dude on Bebe's Kids?
Yeah,
Bebe's Kids.
Man, I watched that movie so much when I was
his own video game, Bebe's Kids.
Oh man.
Yeah, that came from a joke he used to tell on stage.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mom was gonna knock you out. Yeah, but again, you gotta go further back. I mean, LL's first real big LP, and yet that's what they were at the time, was Radio. And then came Bigger and Badder, and Mama Said to Knock You Out was on the following album. I forget what that was. DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. Guys, that's the 80s, you fuckers. You're gonna give me a stroke here, you white motherfuckers.
See, the thing is, they probably listened to that shit a fuck ton in the 90s, though.
Probably.
Even though they like that shit came out in the 80s.
Well,
I do remember that shit being very prominent in the 90s. So they're just like, I listened to it a lot in the 90s. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that came up in the 80s that I would consider an 80s rapper more than a 90s rapper.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes was a beast too.
My wife loves Busta Rhymes, and I don't know
Julio.
why.
50 Cent's first album was like that shit was all the way through. Worthy to listen to every fucking track all the way through. Twisted when he first came out.
Several people have said Biggie and Tupac. I like Tupac. I'm not a Biggie fan. I think he was a mumble mouth motherfucker, probably because he weighed 400 pounds.
It always sounded like his cheeks were like flopping when he's.
Yes, it was horrible. Cryptic, you got no nan ho? What? What is Cryptic asking me there? I'm sure it's racist.
I'm sure it's racist.
Well, that sounds like one of his Asian jokes, so I'm guessing. Biggie had Tupac murdered. Really?
Oh boy. Well,
really?
Here comes the conspiracy crowd.
Snape killed Dumbledore.
Snape killed Dumbledore.
Scribe, any comment on the recent assault allegations from the girl you scary married?
Yeah.
Bitch be lying.
I haven't talked to her in 30 years, so I think she's fine.
I never got faked married as a kid.
Yeah, it was. We were best friends. It was a very weird one of those weird things that kids do.
I played a lot of show me. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
I never can imagine so because you're.
I never married him.
Yeah.
Cryptic, thank you. Trick Daddy with Trina.
Fucking Trina before she turned into a goddamn Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I'm sorry.
God.
She do look like a fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle now, though. She looks like the live action ones.
Jack Gunsky says Tupac killed Tupac. He caught himself wearing the wrong colors. Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you remember the movie Colors?
Yes.
Such an overly dramatic piece of crap.
It was. Yeah.
But good movie back in the day. We used to force people to get fake married at our school. I feel like that's going to come to bite you in the ass if you ever get nominated for the Supreme Court. The murders of Biggie and Tupac are connected. Oh God. Okay.
Biggie and Tupac.
I'm I'm gonna wrap up the show here because
Oh, we're
Chat.
gonna go just a conspiracy theory all the time.
Man. Chat, thank you so much for the donations tonight, both on here and Streamlabs. If it's ever not working, remind me, guys, because I do have to have it up for 5 minutes before to work for some fucking reason. Thank you, Streamlabs. Thank you guys for the donations. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And I cannot tell you guys how much I appreciate you coming to hang out with us every night. Speaking of hanging out with us, you can come hang out with me and Satsu playing 7 Days to Die, or you can play with us in the link that Stargazer Nuts just linked. Scribe, Satsu, a pleasure as always. Everyone, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye. That chicken pizza was delicious.
Tonight's secret word is secret word.
Oh, God.